Yes, hocam.
Yes, that's good. Okay, let me just see. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for organizing this event, stakeholder event on careers, well-being and mental health, and for inviting me along with all the other guests and participants to participate and to spend quality time using up-to-date information available for us to raise awareness and to make this topic, very highly important topic, visible and to the community. Well, I'm honored to be here today addressing you, and as a Matthew graduate, I have additional feelings, I must say, to be there. Unfortunately, I can't be there personally, physically, but I've been following, despite some various problems I've had, technical and other. I'm here listening and with my ears and eyes open. Monica, thank you so much. I managed to listen to your presentation from the beginning, your talk. It was very comprehensive, and I share your opinion and very important points you made. Indeed, researchers, not only researchers, but the society's mental health in times of various crises, disasters and wars. It's very important. We are going through, once again, challenging times, and of course, researchers' mental health is our focus of concern over here. Now, I am here as with the capacity as a policy officer at the European Commission, working in Directorate General Education and Culture. I'm in the unit focusing on Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions. As some of you know already, I have a background in research and academia, so I'm familiar with the topics, the concerns, the challenges we have been talking about here. And today I was asked to talk about the supervision guidelines that have been published in 2021 of the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions. These guidelines are available online. You can have full access to them. And here I would like to spend some time to go over the guidelines that can be useful for the development of future actions, and but particularly at operational level for the PhD candidates, for researchers, for postdoctoral candidates, in general for fellows, for their career development, for their well-being, and as part of this, it is within the supervision process, because what we aim at is a successful supervision process that will enable, that will in a way provide, or let's say contribute to the well-being and of the researchers. Now, let me just allow me to say a few words about the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions, if you are not familiar with that. Now, Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions, which I will address as MSCA, are the European Union's flagship program for the mobility and training of researchers, as well as the development of doctoral programs with a strong structuring effect on participating institutions. Now, MSCA is known to contribute to the achievement of the European research area and education, European education area, to build on its core objectives of promoting the training and career development of excellent, creative, and innovative researchers. Now, one of the essential elements of successful supervision, as I said, of successful research is supervision. Indeed, good supervision contributes to creating a supportive environment for researchers, doctoral, postdoctoral, and staff to conduct their research, and it is of high importance for career advancement. This includes guiding, supporting, directing, advising, and mentoring, and that will enable the researchers to start
we can't hear you.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, that's good. So the slides are good, but not yet. We are still in slide 2. And because I'm going, yeah, can you please go back to slide number 2? And these guidelines are recommendations, and they aim to promote effective supervision. And they are based on extensive discussions with stakeholders for many years, and they are also set out in the European Charter for Researchers and Code of Conduct for the recruitment of researchers, which are all accessible on the internet if you just Google these names. These guidelines are on supervision constitute as some recommendations, and they are to be adopted on a best effort basis by participants in the program. And they are they are not exhaustive or prescriptive, and it is recommended that they are used as a complementary initiative to the already installed actions and responsibilities and job descriptions within the institutions. However, they are inclusive in terms of the stakeholders. They include the supervisors, the researchers, and the institution. And it also includes the institutions, the supervisors' training. I would say that they can be used as good recommendations. Now, with this introduction and providing you with this scope, I will first of all talk about the responsibilities set out for the supervisor. If you can go to slide number, please, let me just write here, go to slide number 3. So that those who are listening to us can follow. I'm talking about role of supervisors. Yes, that's good. Thank you so much. Now, here, like I mentioned earlier, these guidelines are divided into the roles, into the role of supervisors, the role of researchers, and the role of institutions. Now, when we look at the role of supervisors, it is recommended that the supervisor raises, first of all, awareness of the existing code of ethics and conducts as the European Code of Conduct for Research Integrity. Also, of course, of the institution's Code of Conducts and Ethics for research. The supervisor is recommended to facilitate researchers' access to research equipment, resources, facilities, fieldwork, provide access to background and results necessary for research activities, provide equal treatment of researchers of genders and special needs. Now, when we talk about research support, again, it is seen within the responsibility of the supervisor to encourage the researcher to acquire academic and technical transferable skills, provide support and guidance, provide constructive feedback to the researchers, monitor and assess the progression by providing regular feedback. And again, the supervisor needs to provide conditions to enable the researchers to reach autonomy and gain management experience, and encourage the researcher to consider green research within the to contribute to a green research charter. And career, when we talk about career development, which is very important, we wouldn't talking about it, and one career mentoring and well-being. Well, providing counseling and support is seen as part of the supervisor's responsibility, and which I will talk a little bit more later. And providing active support to develop a work plan and to match for the future ambitions of the researcher is seen as part of the responsibility of the supervisor. Also, the supervisor needs to provide networking opportunities inside and outside of academia for the researcher, for the PhD candidate, or for the fellow, so that the researcher has access and experiences to key scientists in their fields. As for the mental well-being of the researcher, it is very important to, first of all, to have a constructive working relationship and between the researcher and the supervisor, and support the researcher in overcoming possible hurdles and suggest alternative solutions to the problems, raise awareness to the need of safeguard and well-being, and encourage the researcher to dedicate time to personal well-being and to maintain a healthy work-life balance. That's very important. And when it comes to, it's very important to think about and to focus on how to communicate, how to have working communication to solve any potential conflicts. Now, that's very important. We all know that regular and clear and open communication is the key over here. And we said earlier that it's very important to have regular feedback and to have openly, to have room for open discussion of mutual expectations that requires frequency of meetings. And if there is joint supervision, that also needs to be handled with open communication and between parties, particularly in the case of MSCA doctoral networks. Agree with the researcher from the outset on a common approach in case of disagreements on and how to solve conflicts, how to solve problems, especially if there is a conflict resolution mechanisms to activate those mechanisms in case of conflict resolutions. And in case there are persistent problems that are existing, refer the researcher to the right channels within the institution so that the conflicts can be solved. And when it comes to the role of the researchers, now so far I've talked about the roles of the supervisors. Now let's talk about the role of the researchers. Again, the researchers' roles have been also mentioned in the charter and the code of conduct for research integrity. But briefly, let me just, within this supervision guidelines, I would like to highlight the researcher's responsibility for the research. The researchers have responsibility and awareness, or should develop awareness for their own well-being. They need to be aware of their own feelings, how they are dealing with their life-work balance, take the responsibility of their personal well-being. That's very important, and to be committed to that. And if there is a problem, if they feel or detect that there is a problem, they need to reach to the right sources within the institutions, and raise any if they see early signs of well-being issues, reach their supervisors, and as I said, reach the right channels within their universities or institutions. And when it comes to communication and conflict resolutions, again, it is very important to ensure a clear and open communication with the supervisor, with the right and frequent meetings, and demanding, because it's their right,
last 2 minutes.
Okay. And when it comes to the role of institutions, you mentioned, Gökçe Hoca mentioned earlier in her research about the role of the institutions is very important, because the institutions are crucial here, providing the right channels and supports to the researchers and to the supervisors, and to raise awareness and to have the code of conduct, code of ethics in place to support the researchers in their progress, in their research, to provide career development services and networking opportunities, and to support and provide counseling mechanisms and services for researchers and for supervisors as well, and create a healthy environment for all researchers to conduct their research, to safeguard a healthy work-life balance, and to raise awareness on the growing problem of mental health issues. Now, here, I would like to highlight that these supervision guidelines, MSCA supervision guidelines, also provides recommendations for training and professional development for supervisors, which includes providing project management, communication, interpersonal skills, and awareness of mental health issues for supervisors, to raise their awareness, to support the supervisors to gain these skills so that they can support and supervise the researchers in the best possible ways. To include another training could be, or support mechanism, to provide peer-to-peer support in which supervisors themselves can ask each other for help, and in which they can share specific questions and experiences with other peers, raise awareness of supervisors on research integrity issues, and provide space for mentoring new supervisors by experienced supervisors. All these are comprehensive suggestions, recommendations, can contribute to the well-being of fellows, researchers, PhD candidates, and contribute to their career development. And there are many more things to say, but my time is limited. Like I said at the beginning, you can have access to this document and to the charter on Google or more directly from our commission website. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you for